Once Git is installed, using it is just a matter of navigating to the directory that you want to manage and then initializing it. Now, this process is called creating a repository, or repo for short. A single installation of Git can track as many repos as you'd like. So once it's installed, you can just start using it. So let's take a look at exactly how easy that is to do. So I have a terminal window opened here. I've sort of moved it over to the side a little bit so that we can see the desktop, because I'm going to be creating a couple of directories out here on the desktop and initializing one of them as a repo. All right, so the first thing I want to do is create a couple of directories on the desktop, and I'm just going to navigate to the desktop to do that. So cd/desktop. Now, I had a friend earlier chide me for this. He's like, well, desktop is capitalized, so you really ought to have it capitalized. Well, for whatever reason, paths to files aren't exactly case sensitive, so that doesn't really matter. All right, so I'm on the desktop now, and I want to go ahead and make a directory. So I'm going to type in mkdir, make directory. And I'm going to name the directory repos. So mkdir, make directory space repos. When I hit return, I can see out there on my desktop that I have a brand new folder called repos. Perfect. Now I want to put another folder inside of that one. So I'm going to type in mkdir repos/git-basics and hit return. And it creates a folder inside of that one called Git Basics. Now, as a matter of fact, if I just want to double check, make sure that it did that, and indeed, yep, there's my Git Basics folder. Perfect. Now, this is a really important step in our course, because from here on out, when we're working on exercise files, we're going to have this repos folder out on our desktop. So all of our repositories are going to sit within this repos folder. So as we go through our chapters, we'll create new directories for different projects inside this folder. So it's important that you do this step. It's important that you have these folders out there. And of course, since this is our chapter on Git Basics, our first directory is called Git Basics. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to initialize the Git Basics directory as a repo, as a Git repo. And the first step of doing that is to navigate to it. So I'm going to type in cd repos/git-basics. And that should navigate that to me. If you ever want to double check that, you can always do pwd, and it'll show you the entire path to where you are. And indeed, I'm in the Git Basics directory, which is where I want to be. Okay, now we did all of that just to initialize this as a Git repo. So if these folders were already on your desktop, or if they were already in the directory structure, you didn't have to do any of this stuff. So to initialize a folder as a Git repository, this is all you need to do. Git init. So git init, or initialize. So git for git, space, and then init for initialize, git init. As soon as I hit return, it tells me that it initialized an empty Git repository in, and it gives me the path to the folder, which is perfect. Now, if I were to go over to my repos folder and open that up and then look inside the Git Basics folder, I can see right there is the Git directory that has now just been injected into this folder. And this is just going to track this for me as a Git repository. Now, you may not see that, and that's okay, because I have my hidden files turned on. You might not. Really, these are files that you shouldn't be messing with, because Git needs to make sure it's tracking everything correctly and maintaining the database. And these files are better off left alone by you. So it's actually a good thing that you can't see them. I just wanted to be able to show you guys exactly what was going on within your directory when you initialize a new Git repository. Okay, so we've now created a directory and we've initialized it as a Git repository. So Git's going to track all the files and all the folders in that directory, and it's going to allow us to use Git commands to control the versioning process.